614-6499. If you're texting in, be sure to include your name with that and tell us you want to win those tickets.
Our buddy Rob Norrid's here with the Logan Thompson Law Firm. Rob, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. If you have a ticket to go in Ruby Falls during the Halloween system,
Yes.
they have an escape hatch, which is a cave. And you can go, and they have a booth set up. It's the scariest thing. Just walking through it is the scariest thing. They don't have to put up any booths. They don't have to do anything because it's a rock cave that comes out about on Highway 41, and that's their escape valve.
Ooh.
If they still have that available for someone to go, then I was with the JCs at that time, and I had the last position, and I didn't have any scary mask. I didn't have anything. I just go, boo. And I had to be careful because there's a rock. They jumped so high. It was a rock ceiling. Some of them hit their head on the ceiling, so they had to wear helmets. Do it. But if you have a chance to do that, do that.
Yeah. I've heard. I've had friends who've done that. Well, let's talk about scary. Uninsured motorists. That's scary.
It is scary because people don't understand what it is. If you've had an accident, but let's just talk about it. While you're talking or listening to me, go get your policy because you want the highest uninsured motorist limits possible. When I got out of law school, I didn't really have anything, so I wanted a policy that had 25-50 liability because I didn't have anything if anyone got something against me. But I wanted $1 million of limits because limits, people don't understand what it is. If you have an accident with an uninsured motorist or someone that has a minimum policy in Tennessee, which is about $25,000, and you are badly injured, you don't have coverage for that unless your uninsured motorist steps in. A lot of people don't understand this, but if I had an accident and I'm a State Farm insured, which I am, and I had the person that hit me was entirely their fault, hurt me bad, then I could only recover against that person if they have a minimum limits of $25,000. I go against my own insurance company to get the rest of my damages. And so the ones I've been paying that State Farm premium, they're real friendly to me when they accept my premium. When I've got a claim against them under the they're not quite as friendly.
Not quite, huh?
Because they're the ones having to pay for it at this time. And so it may be somebody that you've been insured with for 30 years, but what you want to do is look and get the highest limits that you can. A lot of people don't understand how insurance works. And with car insurance, look at your liability limits. If you have $25,000 of liability limits, you have the minimum in Tennessee. If you're insured, that's the minimum that you can get. And they've done you a disservice by selling you that $25,000 policy. You can get $100,000. It may cost you $200 more a year. And so everyone here needs at least $100,000 of liability limits. Your limits should be the same in Tennessee as your liability limits, unless you sign off something that says, I agree that I don't have to have limit coverage. Don't ever do that. It doesn't. If you look at it's your little policy statement, it says how much each kind of coverage costs. It's a nominal amount. You're probably saving $60. Now, $60 is $60. I'm not going to try to minimize that, but you want your limits to be higher than your liability limits. There's not an insurance carrier in the world that will sell you that policy, but you certainly want them to be as high as possible. And so in my situation, and it certainly wasn't always this way, I have $250,000, $500,000, which means I have $250,000 for one person, $500,000 for total accident. But I bought an excess policy above that. It gives me coverage up to $1 million. And it's because my homeowners and my car insurance are with the same carrier. You can't get an excess policy unless they're with the same one. Oh. But you can certainly get that. And I think I pay $100 a year for that. And so please don't wait till you had an accident and you're hurt to figure out I don't have enough coverage. Go get it. Increase the liability things. And I don't really know why someone sells someone a $25,000 policy. There's some carriers, the General, some of those, that's all they'll sell. Okay, all right. But if you're certainly qualified, the insurance company makes more money by selling you a higher policy, and so I don't understand why they want to sell you that. But that's something. But I had a fellow that came in the other day, and he had a fire loss, and he had been insured with the same people for 33 years, but they had not changed his limits. Most insurance companies, as inflation goes, they increase your limits. So if your house, when you bought it, was worth $200,000, which is a lot of houses I bought, and now it's worth $450,000 just because it's gotten increased in price and things of that nature, your limits need to go up with that. Because if you have the fire, it's you're not going to be able to replace that house with the $200,000 that you had coverage. His policy hadn't changed in 30 years, and that was a disservice to him. So please go and look at those things. If you don't understand what those are, please come see me and I'll tell you that. But the numbers, they have coverages, and they'll be confusing to you. There'll be A, B, and C, and then there'll be a coverage A. A is normally liability. B is normally property damage. C is normally UM coverage. But those things are important, and so the only thing that you should do is go and look those up. If you've had the same insurance carrier, and I don't care. You say, well, I've had insurance with the same agent. No, you don't have insurance with that agent. The agent's not going to pay your claim when it happens. You have insurance with an insurance carrier. And the agent's normally just the one that sold you the policy. And so please go look and have the conversation. Why can't I have more insurance coverage, and how much is that going to cost me? And if it's less than $200 or it's less than $150, I think you're going to find that. Get the higher limits.
Yeah, it will really pay off in the end. Rob Norrid, the Logan Thompson Law Firm, of course. You can visit LoganThompsonLaw.com. Rob, that's a tremendous reminder here, and a good time of year to do this too. It's a real good time of year to do it.
I'm sure that's true, but
yeah.